Hey folks, what's happening? Well, today is Friday and it's a What Happening Roland Day. It's what's happening, it's the first week of January and it's right after Christmas. I'm recuperating from a big cold. I've been sick since Christmas, but I'm out of the water again. Now, you know, I was giving you an update last week about how I'm changing my guide service, and this is a perfect example of why it's expensive, and that is I'm out a day before. I have a guide trip for the next 2 or 3 days. So now I'm out of the water with no guide trip. I'm just catching bait. Because one of the things I do is I provide free bait for everybody. And so that's a big deal. Now, right now, it's a cold front. And this is the thermometer, and I keep talking about this in the wintertime. This is so, so important. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to come down to the water. I'm going to hit this button right here. It says, see what the temperature is. Sometimes it's working good. It's running in the 60s. It's running in the 60s. That's kind of good. 60 something degrees is about what you want. But see what happens, the bass don't get really excited until it's almost 70 degrees. And they don't even spawn until it's 65 degrees. It's just in the low 60s right now. So it's kind of on the margin of what's good bass fishing. Now what's better is rising water temperature. I keep talking about this. When the water's cold, down the 60s, as the afternoon is, and we're in the afternoon now, the water temperature is rising. So the best bass fishing is in the afternoon. The water temperature is coming up, and the same for the shiners. The shiners eat just like anything else. They're cold-blooded fish, and so what they'll do, right now it's 60 something degrees. Okay. So how to catch them is this. I use this big Calusa cast net. I got this cast net right here, and I got it on the bottom. It's what they call the Cracker series by Calusa, and I mix up this hog food. You notice this little steak out here? It's hard to see. It's a little white steak. I got a steak in the water, and I have this hog food, and I've already put a bunch out there. So now I'm going to chum a little bit more. And it's time consuming. This is expensive. This is not easy to do. And I catch my own bait because bait's like $25 a dozen. I like to get like 10 dozen ship bait. It's kind of a free deal. Okay, now I've chummed up pretty good. So now what I do is this. I take my big net, and I have what I call a 3-load. It's a triple load system. It's a long rope, so I'm going to have to, the first step, I'm going to have to get it all coiled up, at least some of the rope in my left hand, coiled up good. Okay, a coil here, a coil here. This is kind of hard to do, but if you get on the internet and look, you'll see some beautiful little 110-pound women doing this really, really well. So if they can do it, you can do it. You have to learn the exact technique. Now, the triple load, this is a 10-foot net. So my first little fold will be right here, okay? Now, that's the first thing I do. Now, I twist it a half a turn, okay? I put the net back down again, and I get it about waist high, right here. This is the second load, okay? Now, that's the second thing. Now, I take about a fifth of the net, not even that, maybe a sixth of the net, just a small amount of the net, and I put it over my shoulder. Now, here's the thing. I'm not putting it over my right shoulder. I'm putting it over my inside shoulder. This is really tricky. You got to watch what I'm doing here. Watch this move. Up come this shoulder. That's a different shoulder. Now I take about half the net and put it in my right hand like this. When I get the load just right, I'll see if it's just right. I'll measure it here in a second. I'll be ready to throw in just 1 second. I'll need a little bit more on this side. I think I'm ready to throw. Now it opens up so well. This is a big professional net. Okay, folks. Now watch this. I'm going to throw out to where that steak is. I'm going to swing it back. I'm going to come like this, and I'm going to throw it out there like that. Look at that net. Perfect net. Just a nice throw. Now, hopefully, with my chumming and all the other stuff I've done, I'll have like 2 or 3 dozen shiners. That's what I hope to have. Whether I do or not, I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Well, the shiners aren't very thick right there today. Kind of thin. Only got a couple shiners. See, that's the other problem. And I'll take you to a really good spot. Chum up some spots, only got like 2 or 3 shiners in there. I'll have to go to another spot. But that's, here, I'll get them in a minute. I'll just show you. This is not easy. Catching shiners is not a piece of cake. Now, I'll take you to, but I don't have time today to do it, but I can take you to a better spot. And I have to put the net in there. Then I have to clean the net. And there's a lot to it. This isn't just an easy deal. But there are some shiners in here. Okay. Okay. So now I'll take them and dump just the few that I have in my tank. I'm going to show you what I do to. I'll pretend like there's 3 or 4 dozen. They're not. Only a handful of them. There's only 2 or 3 in there now. So, this right here. But just to give you an idea how hard it is. This isn't a piece of cake. This is hard to do. I only got 4 shiners. Only like $4 worth of shiners. Or no, $8 worth of shiners. Anyway, this next step I do is just pretend like there's a lot of them in there. There's another thing I do. I put this chemical in there. Okay. I have this good catch and release chemical. And that's really kind of good. I'll put it in really in the live well. And I have a live well here. It's a 30-gallon live well. And this is so important to do this operation. I'll put some chemical, but a little bit more than that, maybe about that much. That's one thing. Now here's the second thing I do. The second thing is I take this product right here, and this is a tranquilizer. It's called phenolidine. It's very expensive when you buy it by the quart, but little bottles like this last for years. And inside this whole big 30-gallon tank, I'll take this. I have to be able to get down in the water. Good. Okay. Inside this tank, I'll just take about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drops. 8 drops is enough. And what that does, that tranquilizes them. Now I also have a bunch of ice back there, and I think it's pretty cool. Right now, I don't need to have it cool because it's not that hot. I normally take my shiners and put them in a bucket like this. Normally I get 3 or 4 dozen at a time, but this is a good size shiner. That's just the kind of shiner you want. I'm careful with them. You notice I'm just really careful because I'm going to use these tomorrow. Even these little ones, even that little one, that's a good shiner. It's not as big as I like to keep them. I don't like the real big shiners, but that's a nice size shiner right there. Okay, I put it in here. It's all aerated. And there's the final step. I got to show you what the final step is. Just hold your button right there. I'm going to show you this old deal. This is why I can do this. This is why I can do it overnight. This is why nobody else can really kind of do this, because they can do it, but you got to be kind of commercial about it. This is a big oxygen tank. Now turn the oxygen on. Okay. Now oxygen is going to come out of that. It's a special diffused this thing. It's not just an air stone. This is for oxygen. I'm going to put this in there. Now these oxygen tanks, these shiners, I can put like 10 or 12 dozen, maybe 15 dozen shiners in here overnight. And it'll take me the rest of the afternoon to get them. It'll be a hard pressed thing, but hey, for tomorrow, my guide parties, we're going to have so many shiners. We're going to line all these rods up. We're going to have rods everywhere, because here in the state of Florida, you can use more than one rod. And so I got these 2 brothers coming down. I'm going to make them their designated anglers. I'm not going to set the hook. I'm just going to be baiting them up all over the place, and there's one, and there's one, and there's one. It gets to be a lot of fun. How much time is there now? Okay, that's good. Okay, well we're right there. I'm just trying to stress the point that, but my guide operation is it's hard deal. I had to get up at 5 o'clock this morning and drive all the way over here from Naples. It's a 4.5 hour drive. Plus now I'm out here catching shiners. So this is all, it's all part of the game. But I love doing it. And the main thing I love to do is these 2 brothers that are coming tomorrow. I want to see them catch their biggest fish of ever. I asked one boy how big a fish he caught. He caught one 7.5 pounds. Our goal is to beat that, and often we do. We often really catch a lot of big fish. So anyway, that's what's happening in my world. Getting ready for just a great time here on Headwaters. Headwaters is alive and well. A little cool right now, January. Good shadow time. Hey, hit that likes button. I'll tell you all my sponsors like O'Reilly. They just love it when I do that. Also, you notice these frog togs. This is real important to have frog togs on because I'm throwing a big wet net and I get all wet. So that's part of the game. And then I have all this other tackle I have. A tracker boat is just perfect for this guide work. It's just, I could put 2 or 3 people above here. But anyway, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go fishing. Come on, give me a call. Hey, if you want to get another trip, just schedule it this way. Just email Judy M at fishingwithrolandmartin.com and we'll schedule it. Okay? Hey, we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.